This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and well, happy second win of the season. I said it on Twitter earlier today. It was a bad omen. The Oilers in the cumulative 2022-2023 schedule are undefeated so far going into a Battle of Alberta, and that's, my friends, where we find ourselves right now after said Battle of Alberta. Still undefeated with all that 60 minutes of hockey, a 4-1 final against the Calgary Flames, everything on the board, done and dusted. And the Oilers get away with a big ol' victory again tonight at the Young Stars Classic in Penticton, British Columbia. And fantastic effort from the Oilers. You know what? It was a dull game, quite honestly, for being the Battle of Alberta and kind of what we've come to be used to at the Young Stars Classics and the rookie games between the Oilers and the Flames over the years, right? As some guys, obviously there was the fight between Klapka and Klapka and come on, I got the name on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, Klapka was involved in a fight with Kesselring, that's who it was, of the Oilers side, and it was just a wrestling match, right? Obviously, that the fighting aspect's been taken out of hockey to quite a heavy degree over the past 5-6 years. However, during these rookie games, still over the past 5-6 years, we've still seen normally 2-3 fights a game, and that was really, to me, right, that's part of the life, right, the physical battle to make the roster or make it on to main camp if you're trying to be one of those bubble players getting into that main camp invite. So just not see that, that's just not complaining that that's not there, it's just the fact that it's unusual based on what we've watched over the past several years at the Young Stars Classic. Now, folks, in terms of everything else going on, it was a fantastic game, but I'm going to stop myself there. Before we get there, I just want to simply talk. Guys, we are at 8,756 or 58 or some kind of stupid number of subscribers right now, off the highest ever on Dolynny TV at 8782, and we could get there quite simply before the weekend is up if we can get some banging content up tomorrow. And if you want to subscribe today, get that out of the way for tomorrow, that would be greatly appreciated. But my friends, it was a fantastic game between the Oilers and Flames tonight, because mainly as an Oilers fan, the Oilers won, and it don't matter when you win a Battle of Alberta, it's always a good time to win a Battle of Alberta. So that's the fun part there. And I think the big part for the Oilers tonight was just it was the Dylan Holloway show. And this is everybody I was sitting here talking with throughout the game tonight is simply put, it had to be the Dylan Holloway show. It has to be the Philip Broberg show. It has to be the Xavier Bourgault show. And so far, so good through two games. And the added bonus, too, is James Hamlin showed up on the score goal column twice. And this is what you love to see, right? You put together a top line, and so far in the tournament, I think has dominated both Winnipeg and Calgary early on. Obviously, Vancouver is going to be the real test to finish it off, right? You can have two good games, but one bad game could sour things quite easily. So for the Oilers, it's just go out there and take care of business in the next few days here against Vancouver, and you'll be good to go. So that's the big part here, right? Is the Oilers had some very positive big notes in that game against Winnipeg, and then tonight just really, I didn't know what to expect, right? The Flames, I guess Bob Stauffer going in was saying how they like to just kind of build up a very physical roster for these games and just kind of really take it to the old school ground and pound and allow their skill guys to hopefully score goals, but let their bubble guys work it out in the process. And the Oilers didn't have much of it. They really shut down the Flames, and the offense again was not there for the Flames. And I know Bob Stauffer talked about that, just has always kind of been a traditional issue for the Flames at the Young Stars Classic. So again, one of those things where the Oilers early returns on Colin Chalk coming in here and coaching a lot of his players that will be in Bakersfield with him this year, looking good. I mean, he carried on steady Eddie after Jay Woodcroft came up to the big leagues last year. So if I've seen a bench run by Colin Chalk, I'm not minding this at all so far. The only big concerns out of this game, really, if you're an Oilers fan, Matvei Petrov took a hard hit, shaken up, and didn't look so good the rest of the game. I don't even know if he finished off the game. Curtis Foy was little invisible, if I could say. And I think big thing too is just not noticing guys on the back end. That not necessarily being an issue, but you'd like to see Philip Broberg a little bit more starring out there. However, the big thing, like we did mention throughout the game, is he looks rangy. He looks like a smooth skating big guy that he's billed to be. So that's a good thing there too. So not to be too down on Philip Broberg, but it's just right. You got a guy of that caliber, you want to see him lighten it up. But we're kind of all getting used to the treat that is Cale Makar in the NHL, a guy that smooth skating and just can do whatever the heck he wants. And I know how bad I want Philip Broberg to be that guy, but is Philip Broberg that guy? I don't know. Is Philip Broberg a guy that should have went first overall in his draft class? Right? But that's not to say he's a bad player. So we just have to temper expectations. I have to rein myself back to reality, and we're good to go there. Anyhow, Olivier Rodrigue, you want to talk about him? I will get to the Dylan Holloway goal that I promised in the title, by the way, but the Olivier Rodrigue goaltending tonight, stellar, right? A guy that comes in and he's got big expectations this year. This is the season that he has to cement that he is the organizational number 3 next year. Calvin Pickard's in the way. You got Ryan Fanti in the way. You got some other guy that we added the other day in the way. But for Olivier Rodrigue, this has got to be his coming out party, or he could be simply, quite honestly, done with the Edmonton Oilers organization after this year. And that would be kind of tragic considering just how much time his family has invested in the Oilers organization, the Bakersfield Condors, and everything that they have brought to the table. And Olivier Rodrigue, right? I got a soft spot for these kind of guys. You know that. The guys the Oilers pick that everyone goes 2 years later, who? We drafted him when? Those are the guys that I care about most because those are the guys that I get the best updates on time after time. Anyhow, to the Dylan Holloway goal, my friends, quite honestly, that toe drag, everything was just beautiful about it, right? Xavier Bourgault, the retrieval at the blue line, the dump off to Holloway, the drive of the lane by Hamblin, taking the D-man with him, allowing the middle to open up for Holloway to toe drag the puck and just snap that one home. That one was a beauty. And that's, again, back to what I said right off the top. It's the Dylan Holloway show. It needs to be the Dylan Holloway show, and it was tonight. And I mean, that goal exemplifies it. And then, yes, the backhander blind shot at the net with 5 minutes to go with the empty netter. Don't know what the Flames head coach is doing. He thinks he's Patrick Waugh. Well, my friends, you know, you don't have those Stanley Cup ears plugging your or Stanley Cup rings plugging your ears. So quite simply, I don't think you are. And does not pay off for him. Dylan Holloway gets his second goal of the night. Why, Tyson, are you talking about an empty net goal? Well, the others struggle with scoring those most times. So if Dylan Holloway is going to be that guy, all the better. Let's go, right? So, folks, that's really all there is to recap from this Young Stars Classic game in Penticton. A 4-1 win for Olivier Rodrigue and the Edmonton Oilers during the Dylan Holloway show against the Calgary Flames in the cumulative first Battle of Alberta for the 2022-2023 NHL season. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I am up on Oda here.